Hi, it's me again. So I just wanted to speak to the one of the readings you had this week on ecological macromodeling, and I dug out of the archives my 2004. Let me see if I can get a good picture. Manual on outdoor experiential ecological education. So when I went to Lakehead and did my teaching degree, I had a full year course in outdoor experiential ecological education, and my instructor was Dr. Tom Puck. And so Dr. Puck did his PhD um, on this, and then the course manual that we worked through over the year was really aspects of his dissertation. And so for your course reading, and at least your copy isn't musty and old like mine is, and you can see it's got my highlighted notes. But really, this is Dr. Puck talking about the central themes of ecological education, and kind of giving a bit of a framework for what's important when we talk about ecological education. And then it keeps going, and you had a methodology for acquiring ecological consciousness. And so, according to Dr. Puck, there is a bit of a hierarchy of how ecological consciousness, is achieved. And so he kind of sees there's ecological education, ecological literacy, ecological responsibility, and then ecological consciousness. So I don't make this explicit in our course, but I want to honor some of the people like Dr. Puck who have founded this particular approach. So I think that what Dr. Puck is really getting into and what is so powerful is, and the Simon Priest diagram that we looked at in week 2, which is that diagram of the tree in adventure education and environmental education. And then we talked about sort of the driving force or engine behind that being experiential learning. And I think that what Dr. Puck is trying to do is differentiate sort of broad picture environmental education to this particular methodology that uses experiential learning. And in the second point on page 36 is a term he calls ecological macromodelling. So this is actually building physical models, instructional aids, using the natural world that imitate ecological concepts through simulation and metaphor, and that require students to interact with the model by solving problems. That might include what he calls a WUB, a water usage barrel, and I remember doing this where we had different size barrels with different amounts of holes in them, and we had to try to stop the water from escaping them, and the size of the holes was the type of sector, the amount of water they used, so it was incredibly informative. So the difference being what overall residential sector uses compared to industrial sectors or agricultural water usage. Model aquifers, so there was also an aquifer model we used. Ecological systems are complex and global in nature, which makes it impossible for us to see these systems in any way other than conceptually. And so what this work is trying to do is make them explicit, make them experienced. So another activity is thinking about how solar energy or photosynthesis is used by plants, and so having students interact, play out how energy may break down. This is fairly complex and doesn't necessarily enter into the elementary curriculum. However, I just want to sort of provide a bit of context about this word ecological macromodelling. So using a game as a metaphor to discuss what a a macro model is that happens ecologically. So you will next, with the time that allows, go outside and get to play Oh Dear, which is exactly this. It's an ecological macro model. So through it, it's a game, you experience the game, but you also learn about the ecological systems of deer populations. So with that, have an awesome time. I wish I could be there, and I'll see you next week at Geneva Park. Okay, ciao.